So we covered some of that anti-work stuff, and the drama honestly sounds really boring for anti-work. So I don't know if I want to get into the drama that much because it just sounds fucking boring. The drama sounds really boring, right? But to give you a recap, anti-work Reddit. So a mod went on Tucker Carlson and got laughed at by everyone because they look dumb as hell, and cringy. And so apparently the Reddit got like shut down because it was getting raided, and there was some drama with the mod team that was apparently power tripping, and something happened. And this is how the most pretentious piece of shit account on Twitter. And this is one of my major haters, mind you. This is one of my fucking biggest haters. Oh, it's Jesse Waters, whatever. Fuck, who cares? This is one of my biggest haters, right? And this is what they said. I need glasses. I need fucking glasses. I only have sunglasses, which make me look cool. I'm gonna buy some like Halloween prop. I need more props. You guys notice I need props? I need way more props for my stream. I need like you can just see from the side so they don't look like glasses. The obvious lesson to be learned from the anti-work collapse is the same one to be learned from every other spontaneous, semi-organized movement in the last few years. The bourgeoisie will exploit the absence of a principled central organ and well-organized central committee. The fleet of professional anti-communists that make up the state media demand a fleet of professional communists. Vanguard is not a power grab from the proletariat. It is the necessary construction of a fist which will smash the state. Anti-work, anti-authoritarian rejection of concentrated and professional revolutionary ideology is precisely what caused it to fold in the first confrontation with authority. I should also say, since there is no confusion, a central organ is not principled simply because it is centralized, nor is the Central Committee well established or even revolutionary because it is the Central Committee. We are all to demand the best from our vanguard. Look no further than the counter-revolutionary Central Committee of the PCF during May 68 uprising in France to see the equally shameful failures an inadequate central body can do for the movement. Long live Chairman Gonzalo, who from his shining path in his revolutionary cell. The obvious, so guys, we're going to get down to business, and it's going to get 5,000 likes. 5,000 people on Twitter like this. That's just 5,000 people exist in America who think this way. The obvious lesson to be learned from anti-work collapse, the same one from any spontaneous, semi-organized movement. The bourgeoisie will exploit the absence of a well-principled central organ and well-organized central committee. Comrades, Reddit Vanguard now! Reddit Vanguard now! Okay, guys, I am going to be swamp communist, and this is my proficient political analysis. This is my political analysis proficient. So, there's something that happened in the news. Oh, the Netflix workers. Listen, get down to business. The absence of a well-organized central committee is the number one reason for this failure. We need to have a well-organized central committee, and we need to have a vanguard in order to raise. Chaz needed a vanguard. That's exactly why Chaz fit. The absence. I am so disciplined and badass. I'm a disciplined and badass swamp communist. I am a disciplined and badass. I am not a nerd. I was not given swirlies in high school. I do not get shoved in lockers. I'm a badass, disciplined vanguard. And listen, the chess club at school was disbanded, but the disbandment of the chess club at school proves the need that in the absence every spontaneous semi-organized movement in the last few years, the bourgeoisie will exploit the absence of a principled central organ and well-organized central committee, and we will restore the chess club immediately upon establishing the central committee. And yeah, I'm a disciplined badass guy, and let me show you let me show you who I really am, because they made a movie about me. And they made a movie about me. No, it was not propaganda. No, it was not propaganda. They made a movie about me, and this is who I am in real life.
We need these jobs.
This is who I was in real life.
We need these jobs.
Oh yeah, I'm a badass.
We need a union.
Leon,
It's a hunger strike, Ma.
you don't want to nosh?
Meet Leon Bronstein.
Dad, where's our union representative?
He's planning for the future, but he's inspired by the past.
Because I am the reincarnation of Leon Trotsky.
Leon Trotsky, Russian revolutionary leader, 1879 to 1940. He was murdered with an ice pick.
What? You recognize this, don't you? My Life by Leon Trotsky? This coming fall, you, Leon? Just like this, Leon.
Yes, this was a movie about me, of course, but I am a revolutionary, and I'm not a nerd. I was not bullied in high school. I'm a revolutionary, okay? Stop making fun of me. We need a well-principled vanguard to restore the Yu-Gi-Oh! Club. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Club was disbanded for the same reason every other spontaneous movement of the masses. So let me tell you. So I used to be like you. I used to go out and chaz and revolution now, revolution now. But now I realize we need to make it organized so that we organize when we scream revolution now. So when in my organization, in my club, we basically say on every Tuesday at 5 p.m. we go revolution now, and we basically make it organized. And that way we slip right under the radar of the bourgeoisie because we used to do it in front of the subway, and the subway would kick us out. Those capitalist pigs! And they would kick us out, and they would repress and crush our movement. But as I have learned from the glorious example of history, when the Bolsheviks were oppressed by the Tsarist secret police, the same thing was exactly the same. We need a revolutionary vanguard to get organized because the subway keeps kicking me out because I keep spreading revolutionary agitation. No anchovies on that sandwich! Let's continue.
We'll be going to public school.
You'll find this is not like most public schools. I'm here to discipline the students.
See you in detention. Detention.
What sort of legislative powers do you guys have?
Dad?
Do you guys want to form a real union?
Why do you think high school should be union?
Point of personal privilege. We need revolutionary unionization and organization now.
Unionized teachers have a union. I think we deserve the same.
You're getting pretty famous. But you won't stop me.
I don't think you need a lawyer. Oh, yes, I do.
This is Leon.
What is your name?
Alexander.
Oh, she's in high school. I can't say anything. Fuck. In the movie, she's in high school. I guarantee you in real life, she's not in high school.
You and I are going to get married.
Trotsky's wife was named Alexandra.
I don't want to see you.
Why not?
She's not in high school in the movie because she's older than... Okay. That's a 29-year-old woman. Okay, good. See, I can always tell.
I think you're crazy.
But I love you. Students, tomorrow...
The only thing that's different between this guy in the movie and this fucking nerd who wants a Reddit Vanguard is that this guy actually gets this girl. Damn! That makes him look badass, honestly. It's a bad example. Okay? It's a fantasy movie, of course. So... my girlfriend looks exactly like this. Give or take a few hundred pounds. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I don't even know if this person has a girlfriend. I don't even know what gender this person is. I don't know if they have a girlfriend. I don't know anything about that. Never mind. Anyway, moving on. She looks exactly like her. It's my life.
Tomorrow morning, walk out of class.
Did you kip off the press?
That's just local coverage.
Your little cause will never happen.
This is like his fantasy. We're gonna have a Reddit revolution! But think of this as Reddit instead of high school. That's what he's thinking.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Think of this as Reddit and not high school.
We are here to give the impression that we were willing to talk sensibly before raining down a hellfire on your legacy.
This isn't over.
We both know.
Reddit Vanguard.
Oh, that it pretty much is.
Okay, so I used to be a liberal concerned with the number one oppression of our time, which is fat phobia. But then I became a Maoist, and now I'm a liberal with teeth. I'm a liberal with teeth now. I believe in the teachings of Chairman Mao Zedong and the quotations of Chairman Gonzalo in order to weaponize them, in order to enforce the vaccine mandates. Revolution now! Vaccine mandates! Revolution now! Combat fat phobia! People's war right now! Cultural revolution of taking down statues and combating fat phobia! Crush the gender binary. That's exactly what Maoism was about. It's not like Maoism was very nationalistic and was about the Chinese civilizational rejuvenation and was very much against the arrogant, westernized, and Sovietized elites and banned Western culture, and actually had way more in common with the Iranian Islamic Revolution than it did with Western woke people. But never mind that. We're liberals with teeth, and that's what Maoism is. It means liberals with teeth. It means liberals with teeth. That's what it means. Anyway, so just so you guys know what's going on with anti-work, this is okay. You want to know what this guy's referring to? Just to show you how fucking stupid this is. Anti-work. Let me just show you. Let me just fucking show you. First of all, what is this?
Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen.
This is the revolutionary of our age. The obvious lesson from the anti-work collapse is this. When this is the reason for the collapse. And this got 5,000 likes. 5,000 people liked this tweet. 5,000 people saw this tweet and decided it was a good tweet and a smart tweet. 5,000 people exist in America that think this is a smart and badass tweet. 5,000 people are literally liked the tweet talking about, they're making it seem like this is like the 1905 revolution when the only thing that happened was this, a literal comedy. They're making it seem like this was the 1905 revolution. Tell me, why do 5,000 people want to LARP so bad? 5,000 people are literally LARPing with no self-awareness. Did Rosanna really like this? Did one of the fucking co-chairs of the National Committee of the Communist Party actually like this tweet? Please tell me they didn't, and that's a joke.
Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America? So Doreen, you're not being forced to work.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I remember this person. You know how they responded to the GameStop thing? Remember when GME happened and Wall Street Bets happened? What this person said was that GameStop was a bunch of petite bourgeois kulak, reactionary kulaks. That's what he called it. Can I ask you guys a question? He called all the GameStop people reactionary kulaks. But this person is the true working class, the spontaneous working class. When Lenin wrote about spontaneous working class consciousness, he was referring to this type of person.
This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment.
Meanwhile, GameStop thing was actually full of a bunch of wage working class people who just trying to find another way to make money.
And, you know, you can walk away from that job at any time and quit. So what do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is you know, a solid work day in your ideal society? What do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
What do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is you know, a solid work day in your ideal society? What do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
Work day. How many hours is you know, a solid work day in your ideal society? What do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
Why didn't no one else make a big... Why didn't this tweet get fucking ratioed? Is Twitter that fucking stupid? Why didn't this tweet get ratioed? Is there a reason it didn't get ratioed? 5,000 people liked it. Is this what fucking people on Twitter like? How fucking stupid can you be? 5,000 people like this. 5,000 people. They're all the leftists, by the way. They're all the leftists, but the answer to this is we need a LARP as Maoists. We need a LARP as Maoists. For some reason, Maoists are popular on Twitter, semi-popular on Twitter. They're not semi-popular, they work together so much. Isn't that crazy? You saw infrared people like this fucking stupid-ass tweet. Point them out so we can publicly shame them. We're having a cultural revolution struggle session right now. We're not going to ban them. We're just going to shame them. We're having a cultural revolution struggle session. We're shaming them publicly. Name who liked it. Tell me who liked it. Tell me what infrared people like this. Because they need to be publicly shamed. Name them. This is going to be a public shaming. Let me see if they're unliking the tweet. Let me refresh it. No, the tweet gained likes. Okay, I can't talk shit about Johnny the Commie. He makes really good content for us. I can't talk shit about him. Thank you, Chris Morlock. He's banned on Twitter. So you're lying. Why would you lie about him? You know what, Swish? You can't just lie about infrared people like that. Getting banned for 8 days, and I don't know why I'm not making it a perma, but you got to take some time off and reflect. And I quote tweeted it actually, and look what I said. I quote tweeted it, and I went, Reddit Vanguard, but I myself quote tweeted it, and what I said was, and apparently people didn't get it, apparently, because it only got 150 likes. So the obvious lesson to be learned from the Furry Fest collapse, because it's that stupid. It's like that fucking stupid. You could, like, what kind of fucking loser looks at just some shit that... This is what these parasites do. They go and look for any popular thing on the internet. Anytime there's any minimal controversy on the internet that's slightly related to politics in any way, they try to be like, the obvious solution to this is that you should submit to my party and my cult and listen to me. It's like you can organize all you want. You're never gonna ever be part of any movement. You organize first. You know what usually happens is first there's a movement and then you organize. You guys all organize first, put your foot in the sand, and then just bark at everyone who's not part of your fucking organization. And while every movement passes you by, every real movement passes you by. Okay, guys, listen. We need a principled central organ. Would you trust this guy to be the leader of a central organ? Imagine this guy in a position of us. What do you think this person looks like? Do they look like a revolutionary leader of a central organ? Well, I'm going to blow my nose. Give me a sec. You guys want me to blow the lid on Trotskyism and on Maoism in the West and blow the lid on this fetishization of the Cultural Revolution and the youth up? I'm gonna blow the lid on this whole fucking thing because I'm frankly sick of this shit. I'm just tired of it. Okay. All right. So, as you know, I'm from Michigan, and I know a thing or two about colleges in Michigan. Probably the most prestigious college in Michigan was the University of Michigan. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something about the University of Michigan. And I'm not going to tell you which college I went to. I probably could, whatever, but whatever. I didn't go there, though. But I was there often. You know, I knew people there. And I would always look for like whatever leftist thing was going on, right? So the University of Michigan is full of the most privileged professional, not only professional managers, but genuinely just bratty rich kids. And that's what the University of Michigan, it's known for that, right? It's a very prestigious college, bunch of bratty rich kids, right? And that was the only one in the whole state that had the hardcore Maoists in it. All the hardcore Maoists were in University of Michigan. And they would LARP. They loved that photo during the Cultural Revolution of the girl raising her fist. And they loved fetishizing the Cultural Revolution and all that kind of shit. And that was the University of Michigan. And they also had a lot of Trotskyists, too, which is to be expected, right? They had a lot of Trotskyists. Michigan State did not have any Maoists. Michigan State actually was a little interesting. It was mostly like... I know everything about every single leftist club at every university in Michigan, right? Michigan State didn't have a big leftist presence at all. But it was mostly like anarchists, punk rock anarchists, you know? Mostly environmentalists, actually, in University of Michigan. which is really bad, but a lot of good people do start out as environmentalists. Like, for example, Jackson started out as an environmentalist, right? So there are people who just are concerned about the environment, and that was Michigan State, as far as I remember. It's an agricultural college. And then I think the Socialist Party had a place in some of the others. But the more privileged you get, is what I'm trying to say, when it comes to these colleges, the more they're like these hardcore LARPing Maoists who just want to, they have so much fervor and revolutionary fervor in them. And I distinctly remember that. But what they actually are excited liberals. Hold on. Other colleges in Michigan, you know what's fucking crazy is that most of the other colleges had zero leftist presence because they were just full. They were actually full of. They were way more working class in composition, so there just was not any leftist groups there, you know, which is crazy, right? But yeah, as I was saying, these people are all there's the sons and daughters of very wealthy people. They come from a lot of money, all of them, which by itself is not a bad thing, but it becomes a bad thing when these Maoist movements are like exclusively compromised of those people, and they never make any outreach outside of them. Right? These people, there's no Maoists who are coming from like working class backgrounds. In mass numbers, they're all the brats from like these shady families, like real estate moguls and shit like that. Like that's where they come from, and that's why this person who I'm calling out specifically here, and I want to get into this, right? But this person here is on Twitter allied with the DSA people who attack me. Why are they all allied with each other? Because they have a class solidarity with one another, right? They're all the sons and daughters of these shady monopoly capitalists, and they all have this common class instinct, and that's what's going on. You can't really even call them professional managerials because professional managerials are dependent on, these are actually the sons and daughters of like BlackRock and those things, right? You got to understand that, right? So here's the question. Why is this person sympathetic with Chaz and anti-work? But why does he call GameStop and all the crypto shit and all that stuff? Why do they hate that stuff and call them petite bourgeois kulaks? Well, what's the pattern? Every independent creation of wealth, they attack. Every form of the independent creation of wealth, they attack. They want everyone to be dependent on corporations' money. And then they're going to say, oh, we'll organize against them. But they know that's just a stupid Oedipal. It's the same thing as their own conflict with their mom and dad. See, someone who's stuck with an Oedipal conflict with mom and dad, they will posture that they hate mom and dad. But you know what they hate more than mom and dad? Functional, happy families. Someone who hates their parents wants everyone to be like how they are, stuck with their parents. They hate to see other families that work. So it's the same thing. They hate seeing people thrive and make independent sources of money. Why is the left at the vanguard of attacking NFTs? You know, I get around, especially in LA. My Uber drivers are all talking about NFTs. Every working class person I've come into contact with here in LA watches Joe Rogan, is into NFTs, and is trying to make that bag from crypto NFTs. Every single one of them. And they don't even care about politics. And leftists are the number one people attacking them. Why? No, it's not. It's the same in Michigan. You got it. Because NFTs are a way for the underprivileged to make money. It doesn't matter if it's a bubble. It's a way for them to make a quick buck. And that infuriates these people. Because if you can make money yourself, you can say, fuck you to the corporations, and they won't be able to boss you around. You could be your own fucking man. Let me explain it to you this way. Why do leftists want people to be controlled by corporations, even if they claim to be against corporations? Because let's say we're all employees working for these institutions. Leftists can then have their culture war against the institution, make it woke, and make us all controlled by it. And since that's where we get our fucking bread from, we have to submit to the power of leftists. That's how leftists exercise power over us. By having us work for them, for the bosses that they're going to annoy into whipping us. But if people make their own fucking money in an independent way, they have no power. What are you going to say? You'll be on your yacht with 10 big booty bitches, and what is Swamp Communist going to fucking say to you? No, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, Or what, bitch? You have no fucking power here. You can't use that word. You can't use that language. You're a reactionary. You have no power. On my yacht, you have no power, right? You have zero power on my yacht. Now, I'm exaggerating. Nobody's getting a fucking yacht. But we're all trying to get a metaphorical yacht. We're trying to get our own independent space where we could do what we fucking want. And we don't have to fucking submit to these institutions. You understand? An Ethereum programmer is being charged by the US for helping North Korea evade sanctions. By the way, don't assume that if central banks in Russia or China crack down on crypto, that reflects the government's view. Putin likes crypto, but the central bank of Russia does not like crypto. So that's a mysterious conflict that's going on in Russia. So let me ask you a question, guys, just to be clear. Now, let's say Haz is not a genius, and I'm just a normal, average, everyday guy. I'm not a genius, right? But I'm just using an innocent form of common sense, right? So this guy right here, Swamp Communist, this scum, this ideological scum, I should say, right? We're not doing personal attacks, but this ideological scumbag. He's always calling people reactionaries. He always calls me a reactionary. All these people always attack me as a reactionary. And basically, a reactionary, it's brainwashing tactics. No, it's fucking not, dumbass. The rich are not pushing NFTs and all this shit. They're not. They're doing it. It's downstream from that. First, people make their dirty and quick money, and then corporations come in on it to try to control it. Same shit happened with Bitcoin. Don't fucking assume corporations are behind the push for NFTs and crypto. You're an idiot. The corporations are seeing how there's a lot of independent wealth being created, so they're trying to get in on it and to control it. So you're full of shit. Okay? Let me continue what I was saying, though. These people always call us reactionaries, right? So why are they technological reactionaries? Blockchain technology is revolutionary. If you deny that, you're a fucking idiot. So how come every time there's some new type of technology, these people are so skeptical and reactionary and like they're distrustful? Every change in the forces of production, they attack. Internet 3.0, they attack. So you're calling us reactionaries. Aren't Marxists supposed to be the ones who are future-oriented, who are more futuristic? Since when are Marxists like these like people who just shit on every new innovation instead of trying to get in on it? Like, I have developed a form of Marxism in the age of blockchain, inspired by Nick Land and the accelerationists, and I'm up that alley, right? But it seems like these are hipsters who like Mumford and Sons instead of Kanye West. It seems like their taste is Mumford and Sons instead of Kanye West. It seems like these are the Mumford and Sons, because they have this mentality like, oh, I hate Kanye, I hate innovations in music. You ever notice these people are never in the avant-garde of anything? I used to be heavily involved or interested in the Nick Land accelerationists. Now, I say that because in the media, accelerationists is like referring to mass shooters and shit. It has nothing to do with that. It's a completely different... I'm talking about the CCRU, like accelerate the forces of production, whatever, right? Type of people. And they were entertaining some very scary, frightening ideas quite openly, right? Like the end of humanity, post-human future, AI, and all that kind of shit. Whatever. But at least they were honest, and that's why I was interested in it. But one thing I could say about them is that they were avant-gardists. They had a very avant-garde mentality toward every type of new thing. They never dismissed anything. They were like, okay, this is groundbreaking. Why do you guys think I made a fuckload off of crypto? You guys know I made a lot of money off crypto. I don't know if you guys heard that. Know that? Did you know that I bought Ethereum in 2017 for $70 a pop? Did you know that? Did you know I bought Litecoins for $21 a pop? And I finally caved in and bought Bitcoin at 11,000 in December of 2017. But did you know that the reason I was doing that was because I was watching Nick Land's lectures that he was giving in 2017 on the blockchain? On the implications blockchain is going to have for our world and all that kind of stuff, which they were talking about. Vi, that's fucking rough, bro. Don't even say that shit ever again, because that hurts me when you say that. And also, these were also art people who were in the, like, they just had a very avant-garde mentality. So if they were to call me a reactionary, I'd get it, because they actually are at the avant-garde of shit. And it'd be more theoretically complicated addressing their accusation. But when this fucking guy calls me a fucking reactionary, it's like, what the fuck do you mean? You know that this whole dichotomy between progress and reactionary is also about the forces of production and not about how fucking woke you are? How are you not objectively a reactionary when it comes to the way that you conceive and think about the transformations our world is undergoing. We're entering a fourth industrial revolution. Smart cities are on the horizon. There's a new significance of artificial intelligence. And we're entering a new Internet 3.0 blockchain era. I mean, how do you even make sense of the internet? How have you made sense of this digital era that we're in, right? How can you call me a reactionary when it comes to every fucking real historical change, you position yourself as a reactionary and you defend monopoly corporations against the new forms of wealth that can be generated as a consequence? Like, this is like if there was like a steam engine monopoly that was trying to crack down on the use of fucking gas for gas-powered electricity, right? This is like a communist siding with the candle monopoly against electricity and Nikola Tesla. I mean, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, but they have a really knee-jerk reaction to Elon Musk, which you have to put in perspective. Like, at least Elon gets us thinking about shit, about the future, minimally, right? But they just have this visceral hatred of him. Professional managerials hate everything Elon represents, right? Because he represents for millions of people, whether it's an illusion or not is beyond the point. The ability to make money without any mediation from institutions. So yeah, he's a populist. He's this kind of populist guy. Why do they hate him so much? He's not a prime architect of neo-feudalism. John, you're being cringe, John. Neo-feudalism is already here, and there's no neo-feudalism without Wall Street. Elon is very critical of Wall Street. You guys know that Amazon and Okay, I need you guys to understand something. Because he said that shit about Bolivia. Well, he's a populist. He's just a weird populist guy. Don't we know the lithium mines with kids? You know the same ones China uses? Elon collaborated with CIA to coup Bolivia. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I think what he was trying to say was that the US government did it and it's just beyond his hands, and he just commentary on that. Remember when Elon said he was a socialist? And instead of using that as an opportunity to make socialism more futuristic and popular to people, leftists just fucking shot themselves in the foot like a bunch of stupid fucks. Elon calling himself a socialist is actually like a really big optics victory for socialism, believe it or not. I mean, even if it's just an aesthetic, and I get it, it's mostly aesthetics. For socialism to be associated with like Tesla cars and this futurism or whatever the fuck, I mean, that's an optics W. It's better than being associated with AOC. Elon's a dumbass. Yeah, he's an idiot. He's a dumbass. But he's a lot like that guy Bukele in El Salvador. Is Bukele the president of El Salvador? He's a populist, Bukele, and he promotes Bitcoin. He's just like Elon. He's a right-winger too. But let me tell you about Bukele. Bukele is rebelling against the IMF, the banks, and America, and is forming deals with China, and is teaming up with Nicaragua for economic deals. Now, you may not like how Bukele says dumb things, and he's this, Elon Musk type of guy, but he represents progressive bourgeoisie. There's such a progressive, patriotic bourgeoisie, anti-imperialist bourgeoisie, right? And there's such a thing. And, I mean, that's how the Bolsheviks used to see Henry Ford. They didn't agree with Henry Ford about his political views, but Henry Ford represented like this threat to the monopolies of his time that made him this kind of like revolutionary, industrial revolutionary. And the Bolsheviks would hang frames of Henry Ford on the factories. I mean, this idea that communism is associated with a bunch of bums like swamp communists is a fucking lie. It's not true. It's not true. Yeah, Stalin gave Ford an award. Okay. Anyway, continuing. Remember when communism used to be associated with the future? And now it's associated with... Look, I'm not even against reactionaries who are open about it. If you want communism to be associated with like this hardcore agrarian traditionalism, I think that's kind of based. And I will ally with you, but I won't fully agree with you. But I'll still ally with you because that's based. It's just, yeah, it's cool. But you know what these type of reactionaries are? The leaders of the CPUSA and these fake Maoists and these leftists on Twitter? They're reactionaries for the 70s institutionalized high modernist bureaucracy. And everything since then they consider to be bad. And they want to return to the 70s bureaucracy. That's what Jacobin Magazine wants. Return to Cybersyn. Allende, return to Allende. Well, maybe there's a fucking reason Allende failed. You ever thought about that? Allende failed for a fucking reason. How about it was Allende's fault? I'm gonna publicly say this and defy the international left. Fuck the international left. Fuck the international left. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It's Allende's fault. Allende is the one who betrayed Chile. It's his fucking fault. I'm sick of us worshiping losers. This is the Allende left who fucking worship losers. What kind of fucking communist leader doesn't secure the military? What kind of communist leader doesn't establish proletarian dictatorship? He was weak. Allende was weak. And that's the truth. He was weak. He was weak. Hugo Chavez was a real leader. That's a real leader. Hugo Chavez, that's a real leader. They want to return us to 70s bureaucracy where teachers, professors, and social workers have all the power. That's why they hate the fourth industrial revolution. That's why they hate blockchain. Because think about it. Blockchain destroys every remnant of the 70s high modernist bureaucracy. High modernist bureaucracy relies on the centralization of information. When you decentralize information, the professors, the middlemen, the social workers, the professional managerials lose all power. They lose all their fucking power. No, we're not praising the bastard Pinochet in my fucking chat. Okay, we're not praising that bastard Pinochet. He was a fucking bastard. And he was a Satanist bastard. And that's why I'm against Allende, actually, is because he allowed Pinochet to take power. Pinochet was a sick fucking bastard. And he sent people to the Nazi farm run by ex-Nazis where they abused children and did all this ritual, occult, disgusting shit. Colonia Dignidad, yeah. And don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted who the evil here is. Because Pinochet was a genuinely evil, demonic person. But anyway, straight up Nazis at Colonia Dignidad. Yeah. Anyway, Pinochet was not even a Chilean nationalist. He was not. A Chilean nationalist would have been a developmentalist and not a prostitute of the IMF and international finance capital. A nationalist develops their own industry. A nationalist doesn't become a prostitute of international financiers, which is what Allende was. See, Perón was a nationalist. Perón was a nationalist. He was a bourgeois nationalist, but a nationalist nonetheless. Allende was not. Pinochet was not. But neither was Allende. Anyway, as I was saying, you have fake nationalists. As I was saying, the 70s bureaucracy that these people want us to return to, I'm going to explain to you what Maoism is. Okay? Can I explain to you all Maoism? Not even just Western Maoism, but Maoism in general. Let me explain it to you like this. So the 70s high modernist bureaucracy also took form in China. Okay? Specifically in the form of the usurpers who came after the Cultural Revolution. So during the Cultural Revolution, you had a lot of these usurpers so first you had a Sovietized establishment, and then you had the Cultural Revolutionaries take their place. And they became the heads of the schools, and they became the heads of the institutions and the factories and all this kind of shit, right? And those people were the base of Maoism. And they were the base of the Gang of Four in China. The Gang of Four. And they wanted to preserve this endless, dare I say, satanic arrangement where everyone is subordinate to the power of these professional managerials who are also ideological fanatics. And the reason Maoists hate Dengists, which isn't a thing, is because Deng empowered the ordinary Chinese people to make their own wealth instead of being reliant upon the high modernist 70s bureaucracy. So all of the dynamism and futurism of China is because of that. And that's what these people fucking hate. When has this person ever expressed appreciation for the way in which China does represent an unleashing of the forces of production and a revolution in the forces of production? Never. Because he wants to return to the 70s bureaucracy where everyone is enslaved to ideologically fanatical professionals who just fucking control your life based on ideological purity. And all this for what? Explain to me all this for what? I mean, and what I mean by that is that it's not like we're talking about some kind of like high-minded religious pursuit or some kind of like ascetic monk where there's spiritual. It's like, what is this purity? Being progressive and well, it's based on liberalism. And I'm going to actually get into a very deep theoretical discussion about this starting like now. I'm going to pee and then we're going to get into it. But I'm going to leave you with something to think about before I go take a piss and come back. Which is this. Why do these people What is the basis of their organization and discipline and party and action and communism in general? What is it that they think needs to be regulated? Because they are liberal Hobbesians. We are all naturally evil as human beings, so we need a vanguard and we need a strong state to prevent those evils from happening. You know, people call me slurs, and we need to stop that. That's the basis of swamp communist. And it's liberalism, by the way, because liberalism conceives the state in the same way. We need state power for the exclusive purpose of giving us the basis of freedom, and then we can do it as we want. But we have to secure the ramparts to make us equal. But these psychopaths want to make us culturally equal too. And that means we cannot give authentic expression to any objective, sexual, cultural, any type of differences at all. Age differences, all of that is bigoted. You're a bigot! Bigot! This is literal liberal totalitarianism, which has adopted the aesthetics of Maoism and communism. For two reasons. One, because the far right accuses liberal totalitarians of being communists, mistakenly. Secondly, because of phenomena like the Gang of Four at the tail end of the Cultural Revolution, which represented a similar psychosis and pathology. And with that, I'm going to pee, leave you this to think about, and I will be right back. Okay?